From the heart of the city to the outer edges of the Beltway and beyond, this is the District of Misfits show, the drinking show with a podcast problem. This is your guide into our unique and beautiful city, the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as the funny and straight up ridiculous. Told by us before someone tells it for us. The opinions expressed on this show are our own, and we make no apology. What's shaking, y'all, and welcome to another edition of the District of Misfits show. I am Crushing Boo. How in the hell are you?
Hi.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
So I am wonderful.
Okay, Marcus, I think you should turn your microphone up just
You're very quiet.
You are very quiet, which is...
That's all because all the pre-production stuff I didn't last year out.
Oh, yeah, all the bugs that we didn't get to work out because of shenanigans.
All the shenanigans.
Just a little FYI, Marcus. We're live on Crushing DC. Is that all right?
We're live on everything.
Okay.
So, Bill, like I was saying earlier, now I know what's like to have a child with technology. So I now feel bad for parents about my life. Sorry, Mom.
Oh man, you're gonna have to do something about your mic in on the fly. You know what though? The difference between me and you is that you can walk away. I can't. I am. How do you say? Trapped. But yeah. So this is our post-Thanksgiving edition. Pull up some notes here so I actually know what I'm talking about. For those of you who are joining us for the first time on our new platforms, you can, for those of you who aren't used to seeing us on Facebook or looking for alternatives, because you usually see us on Facebook, that's our primary thing. You can now catch us on YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, TuneIn Radio. What else? There's a couple more. Twitter as well. And on Twitch, it is District of Misfits. On all the other platforms, it is the District of Misfits show. Who did that? Take a shot, Val.
That's me.
And yeah, Marcus, you gotta. We're gonna have to do some. Talk some shit and twist some knobs. See if you can work that ghost out of the machine. Tell us about your Thanksgiving while you tweak some shit.
Thanksgiving, good. I went home, cooked the full-on meal for just my parents, basically. People in the same bubble as myself, essentially. Cooked the full-on dinner. Got up around like 5, 6 in the morning. Cooked about 11. Took a break. Got back up. Finished it. Banged out some turkey, some ham, and all the fixings. And been eating turkey all fucking week. So fucking fantastic.
Well, speaking of, you hooked me up with a brine recipe. I decided to go with chicken, but it was like a 12-pound bird. It was a good-sized bird. But that brine was on point. That was
glad you liked it. And if you want the recipe, ask for it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, we could put it in the chat in the comments.
I know you got a recipe. This is kind of cool. These platforms, like I'm watching Twitch and everything else is going live. It actually makes all the hard work in the week come together. And don't forget, YouTube. Make sure you check the comments saying hi to friends and family.
Right on. So, we got a pretty decent show for you. We talk about some junk and some stuff.
I like it.
But before we do that, we should probably give all of our thangs. You can find me on all of the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Crushing Boo. Marcus, where can you be found?
I'm on all the same things that the Pasteurized Chef. Valerie?
On the Facebook or the Book of Face, I am Valerie Torres, and on Twitter and Instagram, I'm VMT DC.
All right.
She's
Huh?
So you're the normal one with the regular non-nickname. Need to get you a nickname, Valerie. You need
Man, I have a nickname. I just don't use it.
Yeah, you should be Bambi on everything.
I like nicknames. Got to come naturally. Oh wait, hold on, Val. Is your nickname from like some family? Or...
Yeah, my family nickname is Bambi.
Oh yeah. Duh. Yeah, we're not calling
that is my AOL. That's my AOL whatever. Bambi T.
I don't know why. Well, yeah. So we are being produced live from District Dogface Studios in the DMV, the studio that Marcus and Val and I have spent the entirety of our summer working on, with the assistance of some really good friends. Thank you, Josh and Shane, for actually not even assisting. Like Josh was the spearhead.
He made it all.
he made it happen. I helped him hold heavy things, and
I hammered a few things.
I operated some tools.
Yeah, I tried to get out of it by getting attacked by a dog, but
but it was really it was really us being labor assistants for Josh, and
I learned that. Stuff I never ever wanted to do.
Like putting down shingles.
Fucking I didn't.
Marcus, I want to punch your sound in the face right now.
I want to punch my sound.
We gotta.
I found out what it was later.
What?
Did you?
What? You just spent like a half an hour yelling at Val. She sounds amazing. What is going on with you?
At halftime.
So while Marcus figures out his shit, this week we're gonna talk about we got the vaccine on the horizon. Giuliani got the COVID because he's a nasty Bama. David Chang is gonna be doing some amazing things. He's donating some money to the people in the industry, to a charity, and we have the Million Plate March, which is some things that's going to be going on here in DC. And then I deleted this out of the notes. I don't know why, but we want to talk about this KFC log. This KFC scented log that they have now, and as great of an idea as that might not be on paper, which it is not a great idea, like we'll have to kick around and see what other types of scented logs there could be out there.
What could be in our lives?
What could have had been? So, hey Marcus, say some shit to me. Let me hear how you sound.
Marcus is gone.
Marcus is gone? Did he leave? Is Marcus?
They didn't have a plug.
Delaware, where did he go? Marcus is from Delaware, for those of you who didn't know. That was my...
Della who?
Della what?
Della why?
Della how? Delaware. Yo, what else? There was something else stupid that we were going to talk about in the notes. We literally spent 2 hours preparing for this show, and this is what you guys
And now here we are.
Here we is, folks, in all of our glory. Val, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I was actually at Marcus's house. So I ate all that food, and then I ate again.
And then again.
And then again.
And then again. Yeah, I cooked for like 6 people, but it was just me and Sarah. And it was great. It was honestly the first time I've ever spearheaded Thanksgiving dinner. I was pretty proud of myself. Like I said, I got the brine recipe from Marcus.
And what else did you have? Did you have all the fixins?
Mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, my mom's candied yams, because it is not the holidays without Charmaine's candied yams. Like I was like, 2020 could be the worst year ever if like this Thanksgiving I don't get my mom's yams. She actually drove them by the house.
Did she?
It was sad. I couldn't, I didn't get to spend it with her and my stepdad.
Right.
And it's been, I've seen them from like, hey. But yeah, she was like, she brought the marshmallows. She was like, you just need to melt them on the top for 20 minutes and you're good to go. So I was like, yeah.
I love me Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, I would have been sad sad if there was.
What's weird is now I'm compelled to want to make that type of big ass thing again. Like, I don't know. I guess it's cool that Christmas is around the corner. I don't know. One day
it's the same food.
I guess like I think COVID is bringing out everybody's like inner cook. Like I hate washing dishes, so I feel like because I don't have a dishwasher, so I feel like if I'm gonna wash dishes, I want it to be worthwhile. I want it to be because some really good shit happens. I want to wash dishes with a full belly and a happy heart.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
So, because I wash dishes like twice a day. Is it twice? Well, when they get done, it's a 2-a-day thing. Like when the kids are here.
Are you gonna cook the same stuff for Christmas too?
Variations on. I think. Well, Christmas, don't you usually do ham?
I don't know.
Ham, lamb, something like that.
When I was younger, my aunt was the one who cooked all her, most of her meals, our holiday stuff, and so there was like several years in a row that my cousins would come from New York. They'd come and spend the holiday, all the holidays with us. So they came one year. They came Thanksgiving, and in our dining room, like the food.
Now, they crazy now.
How did that happen? I haven't changed anything.
What the fuck did you do?
That ain't me. I just switched to my Yeti.
I literally didn't touch anything.
Oh wait, now you sound normal again.
So, I think I'm being picked up by Marcus's.
Oh, that's what it is. Studio's haunted. Turn your gain down.
I did. It's all the way down.
Oh, yeah, you sound so good now.
So then,
Thanks, baby.
I don't know. Anyway, in our dining room, like all the food was all set up, and we have like not just like the regular Thanksgiving stuff, but also like traditional Filipino stuff. So we had like a suckling pig, we had lumpia, we had adobo, we had rice, all that stuff, all of it just lined up on the dining room table, and then it was just buffet. So we just pick it up and eat wherever. So my cousins arrived late at night. The food was already there. We eat, and then whatever. So Christmas comes around again. Christmas Eve they arrived. Probably like 10 or 11 o'clock, and the same food is just sitting on the table all over again. And my one cousin, he was still pretty small, and he looks over and goes, "Did the food not ever leave the table? Food for Thanksgiving." We were like, "Nah, it's just the same. It's all the same. It's always with the lumpia and the adobo and the rice and the suckling pig."
Yeah, I remember when you brought lumpia into the studio. That was a good day.
Yeah, man.
We went out. We were at a bar that night, and I had like lumpia in my pocket and my like.
Oh, after the show,
I just pulled it out. I had like 30 of them in my pocket. I was eating the fuck out of it.
It was like we had that whole thing of lumpia and no napkins. Everybody's like.
I think that's why I have the studio fully fledged with like plates, fucking paper towels,
like naps and shit.
Rolls of paper towels,
sanitizer.
Hey, shout out to Terry. I just saw her comment up on the screen. Yeah, I'm trying not to do my usual Boo spends. What up, Sean? Spends like 15 minutes trying to fumble around with some stuff, and I'm just letting it fly. Like whatever. I'm sorry I can't see your comments in real time, people, but I'll figure it out eventually.
We're still working the kinks of all this shit out. This is all.
Yeah,
all of us.
We're using new technology. This is our second go round with this.
This platform.
So far, so good.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes my life a little bit easier. Just it's a lot more work.
Yeah.
On the back end.
And to anybody that's out there listening, we're looking for engineers.
Yes.
We need people. If you could push buttons and turn knobs, so we don't have to do this shit on the fly, and you don't mind listening to us talk a bunch of crazy shit. Like
and with the studio, we are starting to produce and picking up other people's podcasts. So we definitely need more people to help produce, engineer, edit, all that fun stuff. We have all the bells and whistles to play with. So
and I'll give you drinks,
and I will feed you.
Marcus will give you. Yeah, Marcus will feed you for sure. Like. More often than not, when I'm in the studio, if you're there long enough, he'll
we have.
Back with stuff.
a lot of pizza parties and like chili
a lot of chili. Yep.
Jambalaya.
A lot of pork, a lot of roasted pork. Especially in the summertime when we have the grill right next to it, it's gonna be nice.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I was like, chilly in the summertime. I don't know, man. But I'm like, oh, wait a second.
We got a bonfire back there. We got a whole pit.
Hold up now. So,
spent a lot of drunken nights there this summer since there's nowhere else to go except for our backyard.
Yeah, it's about it's handling the mosquito situation is your biggest.
That was tricky.
Is the biggest thing. It seems like they get worse every year.
I'm gonna get one of those like industrial like zapper mosquito things for the summertime.
Those things they're fun, but they're kind of a buzzkill too when they're like constantly
they're annoying,
popping off. Like
I remember living when I was younger, we lived in the country, like in Maryland somewhere, and like we were near water, so there's like shit ton of bugs, and that's all you could hear at night, which is zapping nonstop throughout the whole night.
I don't know. I feel like it's gratifying for me.
Oh, as a kid, I fucking love those things. Are you kidding me? I
hate them so much. I'm like, yes, all of them are being zapped.
Get them skaters.
They annihilate me. They absolutely annihilate.
You got that sweet blood, Val.
Yeah, I don't get bit, so it's all you.
Bambi got the sweet blood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man! Are you drinking High Life?
I am, because we don't have any Bud Light left.
No, it's the champagne of beers. Like
that's all. I refuse to buy.
It's the old school can. Like I love that they brought back the vintage. Like I can't remember. Either my dad or my uncle used to drink the little 8-ounce ponies.
Yeah,
that, like you could crush them in like 3. Like they never get cold. Like, they never get a chance to get cold. You know what I mean?
Wait, remember like a few years ago when they came out with the champagne bottle of the High Life? What was that, like 3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, that's about 3 years ago.
There was a point in time where High Life was like, that shit was chic, hipster chic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they carry it at the pug, and I love it. Anywhere I see it, I buy it just because.
When I worked at
usually, if they had this and they didn't have Bud Light, I would drink High Life over Miller Lite.
Oh yeah. When I worked at Asylum, we had that shit on tap, and like High Life Countdown start off like 25 cents, and then every hour it'd go up 50 cents, and like the shit was redonkulous. I hated working them. If you worked, you had to be like, you had to have Olympic class patience. Like I'm gonna just be real conservative in my description of what the High Life. It used to be. I mean, it shifted. It was like a Shinerbach, and then High Life. I think maybe PBR at one point. I don't know, but like, dude, I knew these guys. They used to mix that shit with Sparks. They call it a photon torpedo, and they would crush them things, dude, and they get wild.
Fucking Sparks.
Yeah, dude, Sparks. Yo, I felt like I was watching something the other day, and dude was carrying around a can of it, and I was like, "What the fuck? Where'd you get the Sparks from, dude?" Like,
oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Who's your man's? Who's your man's?
So what are you drinking on tonight, Boo?
I am drinking on Mallrats Imperial Stout by 3 Stars Brewing.
3 stars.
It's like 9.2%.
I've heard of 3 stars.
I enjoyed it thoroughly yesterday when
I know
we were up there doing our thing. Yeah, so 3 Stars is doing 3 Stars Brewing is doing a pop-up market. They have been
local vendor pop-up market
these last few weeks. Yeah, pop-up market, and we've been there the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. We will be there again this Saturday on the 12th of December in the year of our Lord 2020, from 2 to 4 p.m.
Possibly a little later if Boo decides.
Possibly later if you guys kick it. Things really, it's funny. Things really kind of ramp up once we get closer to the end, and so I stayed a little bit later this past Saturday, and it was cool. Well, you know,
it's fun, man. It's a good time. I think it's those beers. Like I'm not a beer drinker, and those beers the first week kind of I had like 3, 4, and I was like, fuck. I feel like I've done a bunch of shots. I'm just sitting here all happy and not trying to fight anybody. I'm all bubbly.
Warm and tingly. Yeah. It was very brisk outside yesterday.
Very windy, very gusty.
This beer. Shout out to 3 Stars for putting us inside the tent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice thing.
Shielding from the wind, but my ankles were cold as fuck. There was a couple of times where the wind hit just right and it blew up my pant leg, and I was just like,
Ooh.
But yeah, if you guys want to buy some
3 stars are awesome, and you treat us well, and
and we wanted to have Mike, one of the owners, on, but due to time constraints, we were not able to. Marcus, I really am liking those shades you got there, man.
Speaking of these shades, I got them at 3 stars yesterday.
Did you? Oh wow, one of the vendors there.
One of the wonderful vendors. Wow. I saw them. I'm a big whore for glasses, so when I saw them, I'm like, I need some new glasses. So
I do appreciate fine eyewear.
It's kind of my nice hangover, or I don't want to talk to you stuff. That's why I'm kind of happy that we wear masks now, so I have no reason to talk to you. Kind of if I hide.
Oh, between sunglasses and masks, if you're not if you're antisocial, you're living your best life.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, and the best is people really can't see my resting bitch face expression.
But no, because we talked about this yesterday when we were taking our selfie about smiling with your eyes. So while you may not have, people may not be able to see your face in its entirety through your eyes, I think people can tell whether you're picking up.
I'm not smiling for sure.
Putting down or not. I've definitely had a few exchanges walking down the street with people where we both made eye contact and you could tell that the other person was and you give it back. It's all right, great. Even with COVID, we can still be decent fucking human beings to each other.
Like today, when one of the customers came up to the table and I brought water, and he was before I even said anything, when I was like, "Hi, how are you?" and his response to me was, "Can I have water with no ice?" And I couldn't help myself. I rolled my eyes and walked away. And I was like,
in this week's edition of Val Down by the River.
I just turned around and walked away, and I was like,
I mean, there's what's more frustrating than going to a table before you can even say anything, demands coming from them.
I mean, it's you can't even couldn't. I get it. It was cold. They came from outside. It was cold. You didn't want ice, but could he not have been "Hey, how are you? Would you mind? Just came from outside. Could I have some water with no ice?" Is that so hard? It's not hard.
It's not hard to wash your hands.
The river.
God, people, I swear.
People are terrible. They're terrible. I went to the grocery store. Don't ever go to the grocery store on a Sunday.
Why would you go on a Sunday?
Because people needed food. People needed food. And going on a Saturday seems completely fucking ludicrous too. And so I couldn't wait until Monday. I had to split the difference and go today. And that shit was terrible because there was motherfuckers Ian said you look like one of the aliens from V. Yo,
because he does.
I gotta send Ian a link real quick then.
Oh my god, you fucking lizard person. That's what the Q people are talking about, aren't they? The lizard people, the visitors.
And more and more of these conspiracies, I look at my 20-year-old self who was I watched X-Files and I always thought differently and just didn't trust the world or the government. These motherfuckers are taking it to the whole next level, man.
Did you believe the lunar landing had been faked?
Over time, I questioned it. But then I started thinking how, for you to do a conspiracy, you have to cover up and pay so many people, and just the law of. There's actually a word or a theory for it, how many times or how many people before it's massive who know of the incident in hand. So just the scale of how large it would be, of how many people would lie about the voter fraud or the moon landing. It'd be
it's basically impossible.
Yeah,
for most of these things to occur, and it remain some kind of
a secret.
Some kind of secret. Like if there was lizard people out there, we'd fucking know. We'd know.
Right.
We'd know.
And
Somebody would have Snapchatted some shit back in 2013, it would have been over.
And I actually read that book that is based off 20 years ago. And in that book, some of the shit they talk about actually kind of can make sense. It lines the dots up. So you will believe whatever you want to believe if you connect enough dots. So I was like, all right, that kind of makes sense. And then, but I got into the lizard part of it. I'm like, what the fuck? None of this shit. None of this makes sense anymore. So I basically got 75% to the book, and then the lizard people came, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was like a 600-page book.
Once you started talking about lizard people, man, I tuned the fuck out. Like, it was one of those things where when, I feel like they use the pedophilia thing as like the gateway.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. Because fuck pedophilia. That shit's terrible. And then they're like, so did you know Donald Trump is going to save us from all of that? And you're like, whoa, hey, what the, and then the lizard people is like the next level. And so, yeah. Anyway, speaking of, what up, Cesar?
He's got a message for you real quick. Come to the suburbs, baby.
He said, come to Hicksville where he is.
Yeah, man, tempting. Really tempting. I feel like, though, what I would save on groceries, I would burn up on gas.
True. Yeah.
I gotta there's a little bit of give and take. Like, here's the thing. I do most of my grocery shopping. I go to the groceries like I go to the movies. I go when you used to be able to go to the movies. Like I like Monday or a Tuesday in the middle of the fucking day when everybody else is doing other shit. And so today was an anomaly that I will do my best to not repeat again, because just shout out to Trader Joe's because they can move a fucking line. Mm-hmm. You could be in a long ass line at Trader Joe's and it don't.
They got that shit down.
They'll get you the fuck out, but still just being around all of these people. And you're like, I've already parked the car. I'm committed to this now. I need this food. Fuck all these people.
Yeah, those lines are so fucking long.
And, we're sitting here singing the praises of the one. We go to the one over by Gallaudet. And we're singing the praises of that one over the one on 14th Street, because that one is just beat up. Like, if you shop at the TJ's on 14th Street, man, I'm sorry. That place. That place gets worked. That place gets worked.
What place is this one?
Yeah. Worked. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's.
Oh, yeah, the one on 14th?
Yeah, because I'm bougie. Although, dude, Trader Joe's sometimes is cheaper than Safeway. Dude, I like what I spent for Thanksgiving shit at Safeway. Part of me was like, I could have gone there and probably spent half that.
Yeah, man. Trader Joe's, like, if you go, like, if you
don't mind,
you plan it out and you go at a good time, their shit is so cheap.
If you don't mind things like, when they racistly rename the olive oil, Trader Giuseppe's or whatever. Like Trader, you get the taquitos, there's Trader Jose's on the fucking shit. And like, people got mad. They were like, yo, y'all need to change that. And Trader Joe's was like,
nah, whatever.
And everybody was like, all right. I need taquitos.
That was me. I got to take a shot.
So I wish I drank wine, because their wine, some of their wines are like $4,
$3,
$5.
Formerly known as $2 chuck.
Yeah.
And then like people got all bent out of shape, and this is before I would like just started going to Trader Joe's, so it didn't really matter to me. I hadn't been affected by it, but like, man, I went in like, yo, you want to go in half on a case? You know what I'm saying? Spend $20 and fucking there's your wine for the next 3 days. I'm a lightweight when it comes to wine. I could drink 3 glasses and fall asleep. Whereas this stuff.
So Caesar's asking if do you ever shop at Lidl, the new Lidl place?
I've gone to the one in College Park. But I haven't been over in that part of town in a while, so I haven't been back there since. But like, that's like, it's got Aldi's energy.
Yeah.
It's got all the energy. It's European.
So I've never been to one here. Like when I was going to Europe, when I was in Ireland a lot, like that's one of the main places that they would have like their shopping places, like similar to
they sell a lot of shit
Target.
that you wouldn't expect to see at a grocery store, like
Right.
just random stuff like back massagers or like
That's not what they are.
you know. I mean the rolling kind, not the vibrating kind. The rolling kind.
All right.
But like just super random, weird like yoga mats. You can get a fucking yoga mat at a Lidl, I think. Like, or is it Lidl? Lidl? Is it Lidl?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. I know, like I said, I haven't been to one here, but in Ireland it was more comparable to like a Target or a Walmart there. You know, so like shit like a yoga mat or back massager was pretty
Just common.
Yeah, just run of the mill.
I've never been to Ireland, but sorry, I was trying to do some work in the dark.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult sometimes to do the shit with my glasses on.
You look good doing it, Marcus, and that's what matters.
That's what matters, and that's why I do it.
I mean, I even have a hard time with my own glasses. It's because everything like reflects into it, like all the lights and stuff.
It's also because you're fucking blind too.
I'm blind. Also, truth. But.
So apparently, there is I don't know if you've heard about this, but there is a pandemic going on.
No, is there?
Been happening for a minute now. Some of you may or may not have noticed, but there is a vaccine on the horizon, and there's a few pharmaceutical companies working on some stuff. Russia and Great Britain have started doing vaccinations. They're using something. Yeah, they're going with something different.
The UK was like the first country to approve it.
Yeah, so Russia came up with their own. They have.
I don't trust Russia though.
It's called Sputnik 5.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
And so yeah, they started. Let's see. Yeah, they started rolling theirs out. People are concerned that because they're rushing this, that it might not be fully tested, but capitalism. So, and then let's see. Yeah, the UK is about to be the first in the EU to roll theirs out, and the rest of the EU is also concerned because they're worried that they might be rushing it as well. And apparently, yeah, China's been doing theirs, but they're keeping all their shit to themselves. And so, so allegedly, we could potentially have vaccine here within like what? Well, I guess like emergency first line
and like
first responders,
like all like the people who are into like assisted living, nursing homes and stuff like that. They're supposed to be getting it.
Yeah, it's gonna be going in waves, obviously. So it's gonna be, the first, like you guys, all the first responders and the older people, and then the people with money will probably get it actually first, and then it'll trickle down by the time it gets to us.
Did you just say trickle down?
Trickle down my leg and with my money. It'll trickle down to us in like July or August. By the time my birthday rolls around.
They trickle on your leg and tell you it's raining.
They did. And they do it all the time.
Is that what they do? So I mean, when it comes out, you guys gonna take it when it's available to you?
If it's free.
I mean, if Obama does,
it should fucking absolutely be free.
It's supposed to be free.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be free to everybody.
It's supposed to be free. Allegedly, yeah, Obama and Clinton and W said that they were going to take it on live television to prove that it's safe.
Yeah, so did
Biden. Which I think is an incredibly excessive thing to have to do. Well, like 45% of the country, I think, like is like, nah, we're not doing it.
And they're still not going to do it even after they do it because they're going to say, well, they're pedophiles and they're lizard people and they're this. I mean,
well, no, there's like I feel like it's split into two camps. You have the anti-vaxxers,
yes,
who are anti-vaxxers, period,
on both sides.
And then you have the conspiracy people that are like, they're gonna put a chip in us and stuff. Where it's like,
motherfucker, you already got a chip. It's called your phone.
Right.
You
got multiple chips. You got a laptop. You're probably tweeting some dumb shit from
TV.
You got you got desktop
refrigerator.
You got a desktop. You probably got Siri in your. You got Alexa listening to all your fucking bullshit. Like,
I mean, there's a reason when you talk about stuff, you get advertisements on your fucking phone. Like,
bro, for real, dude. Like, and
I talk about a lot of wild shit. So, like, I get some weird things. I'm like, what the fuck?
How many times have ads for butt plug come up in your feed, Marcus?
Not so much.
Rhetorical.
I know, but I'm still gonna answer. Not so much butt plugs, but I did get a couple weird shit like SMM stuff, and I was like, "What the fuck? How did whatever?"
Lots of ads for ball gags.
Yeah, little mask.
Marcus, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you guys talk about gag me all the time.
Wow. Did we get safe words?
No,
we never got the
Jamie's not here.
Yeah, I feel like without Jamie here, we're probably okay. Sorry, Jamie, and shout out to Jamie and his family. They're going through some. He's taking a personal day. He's got some family stuff. We're hoping and loving and praying for you guys.
And I second that, but I had like all these like pictures and stuff I downloaded for this app today, and I don't get to use them. I'm kind of sad about that.
All right. Well, so speaking of COVID, everyone's favorite shitty ass mayor from New York. Everyone's shitty. Fucking Rudy got the Rona.
Rudy,
nasty ass, stank ass, greasy dripping ass. Rudy Giuliani got COVID, and I really cannot imagine how it is even possible for that to happen. Aside from like the super spreader events that he's been going to at the White House, or
maybe because he uses his fucking sleeve to wipe snot off his face.
I just want to warn you guys, Marcus, is this video queued up?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
All right, so I just want to warn y'all, this is some fucking rancid, nasty fucking shit. And this is so a segment that we used to have that we're officially bringing back for this particular story called "What the fuck did you think was gonna happen?" Let it roll. Let it roll.
Okay.
What in the actual fuck indeed? This is the nastiest.
And then you're gonna touch everybody and like
he's shaking hands
and touch other people. That's like what my 3 and 4 year olds, when I was teaching them, this is what they would do. They would take my hand and wipe their nose with my arm. Like that's what I feel like he's doing. Like, ew.
I mean, first of all, let's talk about the fact that like in the 21st century, why is anyone reusing a handkerchief?
I mean,
why? Why?
Nobody in general should be using a handkerchief anymore.
And now
never.
And now in the age of, oh my God, I mean, think about it. All the things that he touched that day. Just, nasty.
I mean, he's one of those guys that goes to the bathroom and takes a piss and doesn't wash his hands after holding his dick.
Look, dude, I used to work at the patent and trademark office, and we would be in where all the files and shit are. I made copies for a living for a while. I was a copy jockey, and you would see these old dudes come out of the stall, adjust their shit in the mirror, smooth out their hair, and they go right back into the stacks and be going through files that you would have to be later on pulling out because you had to fucking make copies. And
That's
paper
disgusting.
is very porous, absorbs all kinds of like the thought of using cash right now to me is unimaginable. Like I got some cash. It's just I'm gonna use my card.
Gross. It's so gross. I wipe my hands. I mean,
like I said, beforehand, I had sanitizer on me. Like when I waited tables or bartended, I always fucking every time I touch other people's shit, I always cleaned up because that's gross, fucking nasty.
So yeah, Rudy got the COVID, and because there is no God and the world is an evil place, he probably live like all the rest of his fucking shitty ass cohorts that got it and fucking lived. I don't normally wish death upon anybody.
I do a lot.
I never used to. I never.
If you're gonna be a bastard and get COVID, I'm pulling for COVID. I'm cheering hard.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at this point, if you get it by accident, I get it. But if you're one of these guys that goes to super spreaders and you talk this nonsense, I hope you get it, and I hope it hurts.
Like it's not that big a deal, and like all that shit. Like fuck you,
And what's fucked up is like, okay, so what's his name? Well, Herman Cain got it and he died, right?
Right.
Ben Carson.
He's a brown person.
Ben Carson got it and actually tweeted out thanking the president pulled strings to get Carson seen at Walter Reed and get the same treatment that Trump got when he got COVID.
Fuck him. Yeah. Fuck that guy. My mom used to work with him because he's a neonatologist. He's a pediatrician. My mom, isn't he like a brain surgeon? Isn't he like but he works with neonates. Like he works with babies. And so my mom was a neonatologist in Baltimore, and so she not worked with him, but she had contact with him. And I remember when he was brought into the administration, she's like, he's a nice man, but he's a little stupid. I was like, Mom. But I mean, he's stupid. I mean, he's like stupid in like the decisions he makes and who he decides.
But how are you like, that just is so weird. Cause I guess it's like proof positive that you could be book smart, but just be a complete fucking numbnut. Like,
right.
Like, I mean, this dude is doing like, isn't he? Yeah, he's doing like brain surgery on babies.
Little tiny heads.
Little tiny, like.
I mean, imagine working on a baby is way harder.
I don't. Like, yeah, the world doesn't make sense to me, y'all. It doesn't.
I mean, he's never. They talk about Sleepy Joe. This motherfucker's been sleeping for like 20 years. I feel like.
Even though his like speech patterns is like super slow.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to make. Maybe you know what? Maybe he's on the spectrum.
No. He's not.
No,
he's just fucking slow.
No, he just speaks weird. He has a weird like.
He's very slothy.
Speech pattern. Yeah.
Very sleepy.
Yes.
Sleepy, slothy, Ben Carson. Conjoined twins. He's slow. Michael Harrison. I love that. Michael's comment. Conjoined twins. That's the tweet. Send it. He works on conjoined twins. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
You said.
I mean, how many conjoined twins are out there, really?
I mean, more than you probably.
I mean, has any of us met one or hung out with one?
No.
I know. I'm kind of disappointed now to ask that question. I kind of wish I had.
I'm mad that I am not directly friends with a little person, and I'm disappointed that I do not know anyone that was formerly a conjoined twin. Is that weird?
No. I mean, Val's like a super midget.
Hey, no.
Whoa, can't say that.
So
yeah, super little person.
Ben Carson, he worked at Johns Hopkins Children's Center, and was the director of pediatric neurosurgery. So that's why my mom had interaction with him, because
they trusted this weirdo to your babies are born joined at the head, and we're gonna let this dude do the work.
He probably wasn't Like,
yes, so he participated in the first reported separation of conjoined twins who were joined at the back of the head. So,
wow.
so he's smart. He's like very, very highly capable and super smart. But again, let's discuss the fact that he was, let's reiterate, he was a neurosurgeon for pediatric patients. Yes?
Mhm.
yes.
So why was he appointed as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development? Explain to me why.
So
The other
okay,
thing that my mom was like, what?
Val, I think that is a completely 100% valid question. If it weren't for the fact that so much other shit in that administration didn't make any fucking sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
that
yeah.
was one thing that boggled my mind. Like my mom was like, I don't understand. What is he supposed to do with that? How he's a doctor. She is not about this fucking administration
Like,
at all.
yeah, wait.
Well, this administration is complete opposite. Like everybody, it's almost like he didn't want anybody who knew about the subject to be running that subject.
Like Betsy DeVos, like
Across the board.
What she's supposed to be doing with education.
Now I tell you what, man,
Nothing.
she is at the top of my list. She is at the top of my list of people I will be glad to not be around in January.
I hope she falls off a cliff. She sucks.
Oh,
like,
no. I hope she
like,
trips. I hope she trips and falls and catches her eyelid on a rusty nail.
Yes. I told you, I think we brought this up before. One of my friends actually was her. She was her personal assistant. She said she was a fucking nightmare when she was in Michigan.
Oh, I imagine she's a nightmare. She's a Duvall. I mean, that family is so evil, and I mean, just the stories about those people are just wicked.
And Marcus, does Val look like she's underwater to you? On your
Do
feed?
Yeah, a little bit, a little pixelated.
Yeah.
I look like I'm underwater?
Yeah.
Jiggle the wire, girl. Jiggle the wire.
It doesn't look like. What am I?
It's probably, it's probably just the
on the recording, on the live end of recording, it doesn't for me.
It's the
It doesn't look like it, but on my personal one, it does.
It doesn't look like that on the Facebook Live feed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, let's talk about, since we're on COVID, well, we were talking about COVID. I kind of want to talk about the COVID that came into the restaurant with the server.
Oh, okay. Well, before you do that, let's take a moment and do the do. For those of you just tuning in, thank you. We are the District of Misfits show. Please like, share, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, iTunes, YouTube, TuneIn Radio. On Twitch is the District of Misfits. Spread the word, spread the gospel. We appreciate you.
We're going everywhere, and we can't go anywhere without you guys. So we do appreciate you. So the more you share, like any of our posts, anything, it helps us, and it helps us get bigger and better toys. It helps us do more and funny shit for you guys. So without you, there isn't us. But at the same time, it goes both ways. It's like a beautiful relationship. So we'll bring the funny if you bring the fans and the views. And we'll bring you on the show.
Oh, wait. Careful now. Careful.
Potentially.
Allegedly.
How about this? When the world opens back up, we'll throw a party for all our fans.
When the world, dude, I'm so scared of when the world opens back up. No one's gonna know how to fucking act.
Everyone's gonna be hugging each other.
So
I don't think people are gonna be hugging each other like that much anymore. I think that gives people an excuse now who aren't huggers.
You are only going to hug the people that you actually really give a shit about.
I think that's elbow bumps for the rest of our lives. I mean, that's a kitchen thing, restaurant thing already. I think we're embracing it even more. Like, if I see a friend that I haven't seen in a while, I'm gonna fucking hug them. But if that random person that I don't want to touch, then I don't have to now.
The new protocol will be if you're going to hug me, you have to hold your breath.
Yeah. Now
you are not allowed to exhale within hugging distance.
Now, do you think people with halitosis and bad breath kind of get it now?
Oh, I feel like if you still have halitosis after this, if you still haven't figured that shit out, then that's just on you.
What's funny, I started.
I mean, if you don't smell it on yourself, then maybe you have COVID because you've lost your sense of smell.
Yeah, it's come on. So like I'm expediting at the restaurant again, and when I did that before COVID, I always had like Tic Tacs or something because I drink coffee or something throughout the night. But I have to talk to people in close proximity, and I never wanted to be that guy with bad breath. So I'm sitting there popping mints all night long. So now I'm like popping mints and then putting my mask back on. I'm like, I'm the only one smelling this shit. Ain't nobody else smelling my breath anymore. Like that. So
you should still, for the sake of humanity.
Oh, I still do.
Pop a mint haze. So I need to get a refill.
Do that.
Do it.
We'll keep going. We got you.
I'll be back.
I'll just remove Mr. Boo.
Remove him.
Look at that. So now tell us about that hat you're wearing.
Well, it is from a previous line of Crushing Apparel. It says Crushing. Wait, Crushing.
And it's the colors of the Washington football team.
Who will be playing tomorrow at a weird time, right? 5.
No, I think they're just doing the regular. I think they're the regular time. I did.
Are they?
Yeah, I think the game's just moved.
Somebody's weird tomorrow.
I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention to all that shit. They're not my teams. Why don't you bang it?
How about you bang that shit, Marcus?
Well, I'm going to keep talking. So I am wearing also a Crushing Apparel hat that we have and sell at 3 stars. We sell both things at 3 stars. So if you do come to 3 stars, like we were discussing earlier, we do sell a little bit more stuff from Crushing Apparel. So come to 3 stars. We have some things that aren't on the website, and we get friend discounts if our friends come out and hang out with us. So
yeah, man.
come drink some beer, hang out with me, Bill, and Val. The 3 of us are always a fucking good time, but more so in person. I can cuss a whole lot more, or I do cuss a whole lot more. And
if we don't have, if you don't have something on hand at the moment at 3 stars, we can always you can get it online on our website, and we'll give you a discount for that. Or if we have it back at the studio and we just don't have it on hand, then we can send it to you or something.
I mean, and the good thing is our printer is local. So if there's something you want or need, or if there's a special design you want or a special color, let us know. I mean, he likes to make money, and we like to serve the community. Some of our stuff.
Give him business.
Yeah.
Naveed with Hive Printed.
Hive Production.
Hive Production.
He is moving into a new studio this weekend, actually. So I'm pretty excited. He's expanding. So it's good to be part of that as well. And we'll actually bring him on the show at some point. Coming back to the stage, Mr. Dixon.
So I was correct. The Washington football team and the Steelers game is at 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Man, that's so funny. I'm so removed. I'm so removed from sports. I just can't.
This moment, I'm gonna bring in Mr. Ian Taranji, guys.
Yay!
Mr. Taranji.
I need to use the facilities.
Okay, you do that. So, Mr. Taranji is part of
Val.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Oh, we got you.
Yep, you sound better than Val.
It's funny, Ian. We do this other podcast he does, and he uses the basic, earbuds and iPhone, and it works better than some of the equipment that other people use all the time. It's kind of funny. And that being said,
I like the ear. My AirPods are actually just charging now because we just finished up an episode of Grande Lock.
Tell us about that Grande Lock.
Yeah,
Grandiloquent hip hop show. It's myself co-hosting with Tia Abner. Her superhero name is Prowess the Testament. She is such an amazing MC, one of the brightest people that I know. And then my great friend Artemis, who is an amazing MC, has been for a long time in the game. And again, another one of those guys who's like super, very smart. And so we talk hip hop. We kind of like geared towards old heads, like ourselves.
Like all of us in this room.
Frankly, all of us here geared towards the old heads. So we find good new hip hop that we want to promote, and then we also go back and we talk usually an old classic hip hop album. So Am I centered on my camera? I feel like I'm like halfway on what I'm seeing.
I know it's like a weird thing
when he
because
does the split.
it's a.
Is
I
it?
have to
Okay.
I have to figure out how to position myself.
All right. I think, yeah. All right. Whatever.
Well, Marcus, we'll have him. Where'd he go?
He has to go to the bathroom.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, man, we like tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight.
you just have to like shift yourself over a little bit. Other way.
Nope.
Other way.
Other way.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Am I better off here? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How's that? Okay, good. So tonight we talked about the new Open Mike Eagle album, which is kind of dark, but like very musical, and he's just an amazing MC. Super funny, self-deprecating. Like, this is a guy who went through a lot of shit. As bad as 2020 has been, like, this guy had a shitty 2019, and so this album feels very cathartic for Open Mike Eagle. And then this was an Artemis pick for our classic this week. We did Yag Fu Front.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
That's going back there.
That's a deep
Jesus.
deep cut.
I'm excited.
The deepest.
I'm excited to edit that down.
That's that's a fun one. That's a great album. That just
Yeah,
feels like that's from 1994. Oh God, I'm totally blanking on the name of the album because it's just been a long week.
I got it.
Action-packed adventure. Fucking brilliant album. 94. It's like a very quintessential 90s. Like, you'll hear notes of Wu-Tang. You'll hear notes of Gang Starr, Tribe. So it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend a trip down memory lane with Yag Fu Front, which, by the way, is an acronym for you are going to get fucked up. If you
like fucked up in the party sense, or like in the.
They leave it open to interpretation. It's open to interpretation.
I tell you, I'm looking forward to like the Fushnikins or some Das Effects or Drew the Damage are coming out sometime for that classic album.
I mean, like, I got to sit in on one of your tapings, and I loved what you guys were doing. I was like super excited and trying not to jump into the mix and just let y'all do your thing. So, I look forward to.
We'll have you join
promoting you guys.
Anybody who wants to talk hip hop.
I don't even know if I can hang with y'all, man. Like, y'all are so deep. Y'all are so deep into it, man. I just don't even.
Right.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It was pretty much my dream lineup. Marcus came to me and was like, "Hey, man, do you want to do shows?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, dude, I've got a ton of ideas." I'm like, "I want to do a hip hop show. I want to do it with Artemis and Tia." And so I hit up Artemis, and he was like, "All right, man. Yeah, okay. Let's do a couple, see how it goes." I'm like, "What about Tia? We got to get Tia." I'm like, Tia would put us over the top. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know if she'll do it." I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and ask her."
I'm glad you did. Yeah.
So I asked her, and like my response was, I asked her like, "Hey, do you want to do a hip hop show with me and Artemis?" And like her response a nanosecond later was, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, she's the truth.
Okay, she's super, super bright. And she's a wicked crazy.
I mean, y'all are funny, and the conversation's sharp. You know what I mean? Like, everybody.
I appreciate that, man.
Everybody knows, like, you guys all are in your wheelhouse. It's fun to watch.
Well, we're
What I appreciate about it is that, like, you guys really, you have so much to say. You have such different insights, but like they all complement each other, and like, and it's so deep. And like, I mean, I'm not, I'm one of the late people of the, hip hop world. And so me, the videos, like, I actually feel like I do once a month.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm wondering,
you go back into like
appreciate all the kind words. Appreciate all the
go into like the old school stuff, like the older things, and like that's my era, like those are the things, but I didn't know all the ins and outs and all the intricacies of it all. Like, it's
all about
back into that.
We take turns picking classic albums. So I'm at the back of the line, so I've only picked one. I picked Fantastic Volume 2 by Slum Village. That was my pick.
Well, I was going to say Val's now learning about Jay Dilla, so thank you.
It's never too late. It's never too late to learn about Jay Dilla.
Never
So
ever.
like when I was breaking down the songs for her, I had to put in notations. Jay Dilla is a legend. He's part of this group. So,
that's why this is a
make
classic.
sure you
Shout out
mention
to Ma
it.
Dukes.
Yes, shout out to Ma Dukes. Much love to Illa J, the whole Detroit family. You guys know Detroit is like is deep in my soul, man. Detroit is. I went to law school in Detroit. I lived in the Detroit suburbs for many years. Probably a quarter of my life I spent in Southeast Michigan. So Detroit runs deep with me.
The
D, absolutely.
The
313.
When and I know that Marcus just uploaded your first episode.
Yes.
Where can the people get an earful of the Grande Lock?
Wow, that's a great question.
Well, I'll take this one. So right now it's on our YouTube channel. It's going to be on all our social media. So anywhere you see us on the iTunes and all that stuff, Grande Look will be there. And then once we get enough content and I'm comfortable, I want them to have a nice little library. I want them to get eyes. So we'll build them their own stuff, and we'll also keep them on our pages as well, just because, we're growing a family here in the studio, and this is our first baby. So we're going to keep putting them together more and build a nice family.
I love it. Yeah, it's and we share it. We share it on our social medias as well. So you can hit up Artemis, ARDAMUS. You can hit up Prowess the Testament. That is Tia's, like I say, her superhero name. By the way, she's got new music coming out. You will hear, she is a tremendous MC. We know Artemis is a really, really fine MC. Like, I love his flow. He's a smart, wordsmith. But I think you guys will be impressed with the new Prowess stuff, just with her flow. And she's sharp as a knife. Man.
I want to make a funny thing about artists, and when we do the edits or when I do the rewatches after one of the stages, I put it on a little bit faster so I can get through the video, but you can still hear everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And you and Tia sound sped up, but Artemis kind of sounds normal. His
speech is. Well, yeah. So his speech is the tempo of his speech is regular is sped up is the same as yours, Ian, regular.
I would say Artemis is deliberate with his words.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. You can tell, but it's just funny because I just noticed it. I just noticed it the other day when I was doing it.
So yeah, no, this was my dream lineup of talking hip hop. We're creators, all three of us, creators of hip hop, and obviously lovers of hip hop. These guys go way, way deeper than me. The Yak Fu front, I was familiar with, in passing. So I really got a chance to dig in. But I'm trying to remember, there was one a couple weeks ago that Artemis dropped on us, and I was like, not only have I not heard this album, I've never heard of this group. And but it was a great learning, being able to dig in. I always say, doing these shows, you want to come at a conversation with substance, and if you don't have the substance on a particular topic, then come with curiosity. And so this was a chance for me anyway to learn a great album that I had just never been exposed to. And so I was kind of reviewing it as a first time listener, and so we had good, interesting conversations. And I'm totally fucking blanking out on which.
I got a question so when you decide, when one of y'all decides what the record is, what the album is for the week, do y'all spend that week listening to it and digesting it, or do y'all just do a general overview? Because I feel that's my question. So, I was gonna dig deeper, but then I was like, no, I really just want to know, do y'all have do y'all take the time to really get into it and dig into it? So we definitely do. It's
we like to dig into it from every aspect because, you know, like I say, I mean, I'm a composer and I compose music that gets used in hip hop. Artemis is a producer and an MC, so he has an understanding of it from both sides of it. Tia is an MC. She's done some production, but she's primarily an MC in the hip hop realm. So kind of have like all of our bases covered as far as like digging into the lyrics, what, you know, what an MC is saying, digging into the production, what's going on harmonically in addition to rhythmically. You know, kind of being able to break things down. You know, that you can pull it out and like, okay, well, here's where the upright bass and it's just 2 notes that he's playing on his bass line, but you know, it's doing so much with the drums in the back, and really kind of like digging into like the nuts. And what we'll do is we'll
breaking
take
it
like
down from a mechanical.
Yeah, we'll take like 3 songs per album and like really we'll kind of like give an overview of the album. And then pull apart, you know, 3, maybe 4 songs.
Not to give away any spoilers, but like I sat in the session I sat in on, you guys were doing Busta's new album, and like you guys go hard, you go deep, you like y'all really like dig into it, and it's cool to listen to, it's cool to watch.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. It's a lot of fun. I'm trying to find what was the album. The Nuts, World Ultimate. I had not.
That's what I thought you were thinking of.
Yeah. I'm going back and like looking through my the outlines of those shows, the show notes. Yeah, the Nut. I even told him on air. I was like, man, you got me on this one. Like you totally, you totally out undergrounded me.
He stumped you, eh?
You stumped me, and I'm gonna listen to it, and it was fun as shit. I've actually listened to it.
I don't really. Like you said, it was like you guys said on the show. It's like the West Coast thing that I never really. You know, we didn't have YouTube, so that's one of the albums that I knew of them. I just never really listened to them, and then I got a chance to listen to it for the show, and I was like, "Fuck, why did I not?" I was kind of pissed that I didn't have this in the 90s.
It's a great album.
Yeah, Mixtapes was awesome. Like I heard that beat, and I was like, "Fuck, this is amazing."
And that's exactly why that was like my dream lineup to do a hip hop show, because I knew Artemis was going to come with some like album that's like collecting dust in a bin somewhere. From
he's probably just getting started. Like this is just he probably had to choose between like a few things to like, you know. So he's just getting warmed up.
And Tia's knowledge of, you know, I mean her father was a musician, and her knowledge of like jazz from the 70s, which is, you know, the foundation of a lot of hip hop and a lot of, you know, just basic jazz music as well, in addition to, you know, being an MC. So she brings this tremendous like breadth of knowledge as well. And, you know, she's gotten us to dig deep. Although she does have like a definite Wu-Tang bias. Like I think she recommended 36 Chambers. She recommended Cuban Links.
I mean, here's the thing: if you're gonna go for any solo Wu-Tang, it's gotta be Ghost. You gotta be Pretty Tony or, you know, Fish Scale. You got to go one of the solo Ghostface records. I mean, like those are all bangers from start to finish.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do then on our, because we're gonna record a show on Wednesday, and that's Tia's choice. We're still waiting on Tia's choice for the classic.
So it's gonna be a Wu-Tang.
When we do the following week, when it's my choice, I'll pick Ghost, and I'll have you on as our guest classic reviewer.
Yeah,
Let's do
you just made Boo's fucking day,
dude. I'm very excited. So we're gonna shift gears real quick, and since we have you here, really glad to get you on. When Ian is not composing and discussing all of the ins and outs and aspects of hip hop music, he is an immigration attorney. And we've had some developments in his particular field as of late. And yeah, I think the first time we met on doing this thing. And I watched that episode Like that shit's
So that
amazing.
episode's on YouTube. It's episode, I think it's June 5th or something like that. It is on there. It's in the DCSF file on YouTube. Check it out. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Is
if
that
you ever
T
want
Street? Is that T Street?
Yeah,
It's T Street. It's T Street days.
Yeah.
This is the first time Ian and I ever meet, and it's such a magical fucking episode.
And funny story. Boo and I
It's
kind of
funny.
watched it.
It's sharp. Like we get some we botched some predictions about some shit, but other
Oh,
than that,
dude, our
like,
predictions in politics were horrible.
it's good. But so yeah. Anyways,
I'm sure mine weren't though. Mine were probably. Mine were
no,
spot-
you
spot
Ian, you
fucking
were
on.
probably. Still
It was
spot
funny.
on.
Bill and I were watching it at the same time, but we weren't. He was at his house. I was here. We were just texting each other.
We were just
randomly.
texting back and forth, like.
And I'm like, I'm watching the same fucking episode. And we were just cracking.
It was us and Toast. The three
Yeah.
of us and Toast.
And Toast
Yeah.
was fucking hilarious.
Shout
Dude.
out to Toast.
So funny. So yeah, not today, this past week, a judge orders the government to fully reinstate the DACA program. According to the New York Times, up to 300,000 additional undocumented immigrants could be allowed to apply for protection from deportation under a new court ruling. Surprise, surprise, President Trump, aka Scrotus, had sought to cancel the program. So, Ian, what's going on in your world in terms of immigration?
So with DACA, that's great news. I mean, first of all, the fact that Joe Biden is going to be the next president is great news on a lot of immigration fronts. Not because like we're really going to advance the ball forward. It's going to be more like getting us back to like a 2015 immigration world that was much better than earlier in Obama's term when there was a lot of deportations under the Obama administration. But in the second term, when he finally realized he wasn't going to have good faith negotiating partners in the Republican Party to craft a legislative immigration solution, that was when he came up with the DACA program, which is basically like, look, if you meet these qualifications, basically you were brought here as a child, you've been here continuously since a particular date. I really should know this stuff off the top of my head, but I have very few, believe it or not, DACA cases. Most of my cases are asylum, but you meet all the qualifications and then you get legal status and work authorization. So you are protected from deportation, but you're not a legal permanent, you're not a green card holder with the rights that come with that, and you're certainly not a citizen with rights that come with that additional. The court ruling was good. The Trump administration will probably try to rush through some type of appeal, but at some point they're going to run out of time on January 20th.
And
There's
them
gonna be a new
dudes,
attorney general.
and them dudes are not having the best of luck when it comes to the courts.
No,
Which
they're
I
really
think
not.
Which
Really
I think is
not.
amazing because, they appointed all of these judges. And
Wow.
these judges that they've appointed are all like, sorry, bro. There's a delicious, I don't know what the word is. It's better than, what's better than irony?
Schadenfreude?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you to Ian and the Germans.
Literally the only word in German that I know.
Yeah, so that's always fucking great. That's
Now,
always great.
people who were deported prior, will they be able to reapply or come back over, or like what's their status?
So there haven't been any like roundups of DACA recipients. So what happened was you had people apply for DACA up until the point where Trump canceled the program. And when he canceled the program, he basically, then it got litigated in courts all over the country. And what the basic, I always sort of like, as an immigration practitioner, I want to know, like, okay, I can dig into the nuts and bolts of what's happening in the 11th Circuit versus the 5th Circuit versus the 4th Circuit, or you can just tell me, like, can I file a new application? Can I file a renewal? Like, what do we need to do? And basically what it was, we got to a place where you could renew. If you were existing DACA recipient, you could renew, but they weren't accepting new applicants. So I mean, I think that what we're going to end up with is the clock is going to run out on January 20th. There's going to be a new administration, and they're going to basically put a freeze on everything immigration related so that they can go back and look at it and figure out how do we get back to just a status quo ante, just a December 3rd, a January 20th, January 19th, 2017. Where were we with immigration on the last day of the Obama administration?
Right.
Just get us back to there.
So
then figure out what are the tweaks, what are the improvements that we need to make.
Would it be safe to say that DACA was like a mea culpa from Obama for all the deportations?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people want to discuss like the Obama administration's record on immigration, and there's a lot to criticize. I would say this: I understand what President Obama was trying to do. He was trying to early on in his presidency, he was trying to negotiate a comprehensive immigration reform bill with Republicans in Congress. He needed them in order to pass that. His first priority was Obamacare, but then after that, I think he really did want to do an immigration reform bill that was going to offer a path to legalization for, or citizenship for people who are here undocumented. Republicans didn't want to have any negotiations on that topic. They like enforcement of existing immigration laws.
Law and order.
So what ended up happening was Obama kind of went very, I don't want to say overboard, but he was aggressive in immigration enforcement and ended up deporting a lot of people with criminal records. But, when you start talking about criminal records, like, yes, you've been convicted of murder and you've done 20 years in a U.S. federal prison. Now we're sending you back to your home country. We're not releasing you into the United States. But there's also like the father of three, who's the sole breadwinner, who gets pulled over for DUI because he's had a few beers after work, and then gets taken into immigration custody and is deported. So it's like they kind of fall into the same category of, we're not just deporting random people, we're deporting criminals. But
right,
that still ends up separating a lot of families, creating a lot of trauma, creating a lot of financial trauma, emotional trauma. It's a fraught look. It's a fraught and difficult just subject matter generally when you're talking like just from a policy standpoint, it's tough. And so, like I say, there's lots to criticize on Obama's record, but it's a more complicated record than kind of like what people just want to
like to criticize about.
Rag on the guy about.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, it's a talking point for them to argue about today's administration.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, he did this, and just like yeah, but he didn't. He just wasn't a dick about it, I guess, or what?
Like a lot of different things. It's like a little more nuanced than like what people like to say. People like to paint things in black and white, and like there were a lot of more nuances to it.
Yeah, and as somebody, I was an immigration practitioner when Obama was president, and I've been an immigration practitioner all through the Trump presidency. And when people want to know the difference, look, there's not a single law that has changed in immigration. There's been a lot of executive rulemaking for sure, but what it boils down to is the sort of like the animating force behind Trump administration policy on immigration is cruelty towards other people, with the rationale, the justification that, well, it serves as a deterrent, so more of them don't come here. When they hear how shitty they're going to be treated, they're not going to want to come. And like, no good comes if that's your guiding North Star is cruelty. your policies are going to be awful. The way you implement the policies are going to be awful. The instructions I've heard from people who work at USCIS, who've been, ordered to, certain classes of people that they used to give visas to. Now they've got to, decline. I've gotten into arguments with immigration judges about what the law is when they say, well, the Attorney General says this. And I say, well, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals says this, and that's actually the guiding law. They actually trump the Attorney General. And then the judge tells me, but the Attorney General is my boss. And
how's that work? How's that work out?
How is that even what? Like, you're a fucking judge.
Yeah, well, he's an administrative judge working for the Department of Justice. The immigration judges are DOJ, as is the Board of Immigration Appeals, as is the Board of it. So, in an immigration case, if you're an immigration court, you can have for example, an asylum hearing before an immigration judge. If you lose that, then you can appeal that to the Board of Immigration Appeals. If you lose that, then you move on to the federal courts of appeals, where now you're outside of the executive branch. Now you're in an Article 3 court that is part of the independent judiciary branch. But prior to that, at the immigration court phase, at the Board of Immigration Appeals phase, that's Department of Justice, which means ultimately that the president kind of has a lot of say, and the Attorney General certainly, but the Attorney General at the president's direction has a lot to say on how immigration policy gets implemented, who gets favored, who doesn't, what classes of people can, for example, apply for asylum.
Oh, you know what? I just saw that the Justice Department is suing Facebook for discrimination. They basically, they're doing this thing where basically they have all these jobs, and instead of offering them to Americans, or at least giving Americans a chance to apply, they're giving them to these people that are visa holders, and then paying them less, and basically kind of using the fact that like you have this visa as like leverage. You want this job. Yeah. I just happened to catch catch the headline, but yeah, there's
I'll have to look for that. I haven't seen that, but
like something like 150,000 jobs or something crazy. Like,
oh wow.
Like, yeah, and just no, sorry, it's not that many, but it's like 100. It's like a few hundred jobs, but what they were offering to pay these people was like really, really low. And it's like they were talking about how like you normally hear about that kind of stuff happening in like more labor, industries and stuff, but this is happening in like the tech industry in like Silicon Valley, like these, cats that want to, they want to be in the tech industry, but they're from fill in the blank, and they're biting they're looking at Facebook as like their gateway in, and Facebook is like, yeah, we'll pay you. But
we thought it's funny because this is like, I don't know, it's just maybe a slight change of direction, but like we always thought the tech companies were these benevolent billionaires, and it's like it turns out that they're the Bond villains.
Who thought that? Who thought that?
I watched Silicon Valley. I know,
and all cops are your friends.
I probably bought it. I probably bought into the hype. Like all white people, I thought that it was going to be
so
benevolent billionaires. Now they're the Bond villains.
Yeah. So speaking of benevolent, I'm going to take this opportunity to shift gears. Thank everybody who is watching. Please like and share. We are available on many, many, many platforms now. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, iTunes, TuneIn Radio. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you're watching us on Twitch, all those other things that I mentioned before is the District of Misfits show. If you're watching us on Twitch, it is simply the District of Misfits, or just District of Misfits. Excuse me.
On Twitch, yes,
on Twitch. But yeah, so I want to take a moment and shift gears to talk about some benevolence. I don't know. I guess we could call him celebrity chef David Chang. He was attempting to become the first celebrity to win $1 million for charity on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he won. And so he is going to be donating his million to the Southern Smoke Foundation, which supplies emergency relief funds to food and beverage workers. This is coming via Yahoo Entertainment. Thoughts on Mr. Chang and his doings?
I like David.
I have
Chang.
some thoughts on David Chang.
Yeah, I mean, he became like a bit of a rock star in the chef world, much like how Tony Bourdain, God damn, I can't get it out. Anthony Bourdain, Jesus Christ, that was difficult.
You were going to get stabbed in a kitchen.
God,
butter knife.
Fuck, that was difficult to get out of my mouth.
They're gonna walk by you prison style, like.
But I really love his shows. I love his books. I love how his personality comes out, and he just I've talked to people who work for him, and yeah, he's a hard ass. He's a cunt to work for, but again, like Jose Andres, he's really good for the community. He's a really good human being. He does a lot of really good stuff for the community. So, and just like you can just tell by watching the shows that he cares about people, and it doesn't surprise me to hear him do this, and I'm kind of stoked for it. And I like to see chefs do stuff like this. It makes me feel good.
So, so Mark, I'm sorry. Good, finish. I have a question.
I'll finish.
So you dropped the C-bomb on him, and so I'm imagining, is that because he's just a hard driving boss?
Hard driving, and you don't get in ahead of the restaurant industry if there isn't some evilness to you, I guess, in a way. I mean, very cutthroat at times, very, well, if you don't like it, there's the fucking door, get the fuck out. And there's a lot of that, I have friends that I work for who are celebrity chefs who have said that to me. And then the next day, but it is what it is, kind of like thing. So it's just how we roll, it's how we are. It's just, when you coming up in the industry, you get your ass whooped as a young kid, and it's not for the weak. It's not, you have to push on through, and then when you get to the top, you got to keep pushing on through, and then you have an empire you're building. So you don't want to take it for granted when you're trying to build an empire. It's like any other industry. I mean, there's a very few Steve Jobs out there, and he wasn't even perfect. He was still kind of ruthless in his early days. So, I mean, but David Chang is good. I mean, if you watch any of his shows on Netflix, you can actually watch it. And he has a show, I forget what it's called, Ugly Delicious, I believe it is.
Ugly Delicious, yep.
Yeah, and it's a great show. And there's one when he talks about kids and kids' food, and he talks to chefs with kids. But this show shows his humanity, and it's just.
I'm gonna have to add that to my to watch.
Oh, it's a great show. I
have a ever-growing list of wholesome content that I'm trying to.
But the show, but he does a lot on race, and he does a lot of stuff. And if you look at the food industry, a lot of it is race. I mean, you look at the cuisines around the world and the country, and if you know the cuisine of a region, you will find out about racism and race and how that food came about. And it's the history of food. Food will tell you the history of racism. Honestly, if you look at it, how it was created, so just like a barbecue, the slaves, they gave them the shit pieces of meat, lobster, they gave them the shitty pieces of the cow or the pig, and they learned how to cook it and cook it right, and now it's just awesome, delicious cuisine.
I'm still never, ever eating chitlins, bro.
I have not either.
Never, ever gonna eat chitlins.
In my early days, I worked in North Carolina, and I remember walking into the kitchen, and there was this god awful fucking smell. And I gagged, I'm like, "What is that?" They're like, "It's chitlins." You want to try? I'm like, no, I never. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, because I can't hear anybody else now. It's like,
take your buds off. Take them out. See?
You got that Bluetooth delay. No?
All right. Turn it off. See, I talked all nice about your iPod or your earbuds or whatever they're called. Ian looking like a dad. So we can just talk shit about you and he can't hear us.
Oh, now we can't hear him.
See, Ian, technology.
We've lost Ian.
Ian, do the restart.
No.
No.
Oh.
So what was the thing that he donated to? What do they do?
Southern Smokehouse. They're a Houston-based crisis relief organization for hospitality industry workers who have like experienced debt or any sort of hardships because of the pandemic. So
That's
I
actually
mean,
really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, there are a couple other people who've like donated money to or raised money. Other celebrities like Guy Fieri, who I'm not a huge fan of his.
you know what? I want to hate the man, but I can't. I tried.
I did. Yeah.
I told y'all know I went through my whole like I don't know if I want to fight him or if I want to be him for Halloween thing. Like he pushes a lot of buttons and like
he's just annoying and shit. But like
apparently he's like a super nice dude. And
that's what I've heard. I've heard that.
Right.
But I
immediately,
he just wants to take you to
right.
Val,
with the tips and everything. But
Val, he just wants to take you to Flavortown. why you gotta hate on his hair? Like his frosted tips. Him and his frosted tips want to take you on a one-way trip.
He's raised $21.5 million for unemployed restaurant workers. What? So I mean, he's really been like pushing to help. I mean, unfortunately,
so when we can have Halloween again,
but like
when we can have Halloween again, it's settled. Boo Fieri is going to be in the house.
Yeah, but you got to wear a kilt.
You got to wear a kilt. Boo.
If I wear the kilt, yeah, fuck it, yeah, sure, why not?
Why not?
I think it should have flames on it though. If I'm going to be,
I would agree with that.
If I'm leaning into this Guy Fieri thing,
I think it's a good Fieri.
There's a whole thing about how to say his name.
I don't know. I have a hard time like watching him because he really fucking annoys me.
Does he remind you of me?
No. You're probably just as annoying.
Oh, dude. Marcus and Guy Fieri on a bender.
Dude, that would be so much fucking fun. I would do that in a fucking heartbeat any day of the week.
It's gonna end up in a food orgy or a fist fight.
Yeah, I would go to fist fight. Fist fight during the food orgy.
But I don't know. I mean,
it's gonna be a orgy.
I admire him for like really trying to do what he can for the industry. So
I didn't realize that Jimmy Kimmel was hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I didn't either until I just posted that.
So
well, I mean, I don't know if I like Jimmy Kimmel or not yet.
I love him.
I'm off of most of the late night.
I don't know. I think it's funny when he did like some people get all like in their feels about how he would encourage people to fuck with their kids about Halloween.
I think that's the best part of him.
telling the kids that you ate all their Halloween candy and just watching them melt down. See, there's a problem. Here's the thing. The problem with that is that there are people out there that legitimately get off on watching children cry.
Me.
There is literally no, Marcus. I'm not talking about like ha ha ha. Like I'm talking like no.
Oh, really?
There's people that like enjoy.
Oh, well, that shit. I just do it.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, I don't want to encourage that shit. Dude. You know what, Val? I think you don't like him because he reminds you of Marcus.
So
yeah. So
dude, if Marcus was from Ohio and not Delaware, he would be
what?
Della who?
Della what?
Della how?
So people used to make fun of me because I would dye my hair. I do dye my hair all types of colors.
Dude, I'm saying.
And like they would make fun of me because they knew it would piss me off calling me Guy Fieri. I'm like, you motherfucker.
You deserve it.
If you wore shirts with flames on it, dude, that's all you're missing. Like I mean
always tell when the booze kicks in.
Marcus just wants to take us to Flavortown.
I want to take you to Pound Town.
Pound Town. Oh no.
That's
downtown to Pound Town. Well, this is episode 69, by the way.
I
so
know.
Is it?
Cheers and salutations.
Cheers.
I don't know. I just put that down, Rob, because I didn't feel like counting all the videos.
Oh,
we have. No, we're close.
That is fucking hilarious. / you should totally find out where we are.
Really just put 69 just because.
How do I find? Is the episodes with DC as fuck or just the Misfits?
What if every episode
combined?
Is episode 69.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Episode 69 is just different date.
Oh, there's Ian.
It's just a different date, but it's still.
Ian, are you back?
Hey,
I'm back. I can hear you guys.
You're back.
All right, I didn't even hear you.
I can hear you.
You are fresh as a
Ian,
summer breeze.
Ian, what do you think of
I
Pound
could-
Town? Do you like Pound Town or Flavor Town better?
Oh my god.
Is it that hard of a question?
It is, it actually. What I was going to say, I'm going to completely ignore that even happened. I was going to go back to David Chang. David
Go ahead.
Chang, his contribution to Western culture, which is significant in my estimation. He has this chart of instant ramens, and he puts them on two axes. One is cheap versus expensive, and then less delicious versus and more delicious. So like,
Oh, I'm into that.
so like the Shin Black that you can find like at your local Giant or Harris Teeter or whatever, Shin Black is very high on the more delicious, but slightly not super expensive, but slightly more, more expensive. Like that's pretty much like the instant ramen sweet spot for me. So
What's the name of the chart, real quick?
all love to David Chang.
Yeah, what's the ramen?
It was tough to find. It's called Shin Black. Oh, damn,
Shin Black.
We're Googling. Bing that shit.
Bing that shit.
I'm
Marcus.
fucking working on it. Leave me alone.
Bing that
Yeah,
shit. I'm pretty sure that's not the advertising
Black noodle
Google
soup?
is going. Bing
No,
that
I
shit.
mean, well, we're hoping if we say Bing enough times, they'll just give us some money because no one else is using that. We're the only people that have used that search engine.
Nobody
Yeah.
else does.
So I'm not using that search engine.
Shin
right
Black
now.
ramen?
Yeah.
I almost put Bing in the Google search engine. Ripped a hole in the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
What happened to Boo? He just disappeared.
That's like
I tried to Google Bing, dude, and just fucking ripped myself into two. Like, I atomized
like-
myself.
that's like having five 5-hour energies in a 24-hour period.
Right? Yeah, you going down?
And
You're gonna
you've just consumed 25 hours of energy. in
You're
a
gonna
24-hour
vibrate
period.
into a different dimension.
Yeah. You're
Oh
the
my God,
Flash.
no.
Now
Dude,
you're
this
the
is-
Flash.
This is actually me from 10 minutes ago telling you guys, don't Google Bing. Don't Bing Google either. Like, just don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
It's like Ghostbusters. You don't cross streams.
Don't cross the fucking stream. Man, truer words have never been spoken in 1984.
Did you find it, Marcus?
No.
All right. So
I
while
don't know
Marcus,
the name of the chart.
while
What's the
Marcus
name of the
does-
chart, Ian? Do you know the name of the chart itself?
Hold on. Shin Black Ramen, right?
It's the instant ramen power ranking
Okay.
by David Chang.
Oh my
I
God.
figured that.
Black Ramen. That's going to be my fucking porn name. Oh my God. I need this in my face.
Lean into it. Yeah, lean into it, man.
Dude. Watch.
like
Look,
the-
when I go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy two. Daddy, why are you buying two different kinds of ramen? Well, there's the top ramen for you. And then there's
So,
the
I
good
mean, have
stuff.
you guys ever been to the Great Wall of China or like a H Smart?
Yeah.
Yeah, H.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I know you
Yeah.
have.
I've been to a latte.
Yeah. That's racist, Marcus.
No, I've been there with her.
Listen, all I ask out of my appearances here is that this show not be used as Exhibit A in the proceedings in my
Operation-
disbarment.
Operation Let's Not Get Ian disbarred.
When I have to go in front of the board, the disciplinary board, I do not want them to be like, "Is this you on the District of Misfits show,
Oh,
December
Allegedly.
6th, 2020?"
Allegedly. Episode 69.
Episode 69, indeed.
So Ian, you'll find this fucking hilarious. So when I was
It's all I ask if I'm going to come on the show.
We'll do our best, but no promises.
Yeah, when I had like my first thing with like the insurance company's lawyers from my head, we were in a 45-minute deposition I was going through. Yeah, that's what it was. He's sitting there. He's
Stop.
What?
Didn't you ask earlier? You were like, "What does it mean that Ivanka got deposed?"
He did.
He totally in pre-production. He totally was like,
He was
what
like,
does
"What's
it mean
this
that
deposed mean?"
It's deposed.
No, and there's a
And then
reason
he
why I do it. It's the reason why I do it in pre-production as opposed to on the show. Fucking cunt. Fucking cunty cunt motherfucker.
Oh my god, that was
Anyway. See, I wish you didn't like it, and I would put a picture of it up right now to fucking freak you out.
Man, you'll never know what my Achilles is. I'll never tell you.
That's a good call. You should never tell me that.
Never.
Smart move.
Anyway,
too.
Ian, so when I was getting that shit done, we were like 35 minutes into it. And all of a sudden he's like, so, because we were talking about if I'm working at the time. So it's like, so tell me about the DCAF fuck show. And I'm like, I just like started laughing. It was just like, I was, because it was all, it's in a law firm, and it's like round table with all these people and
They
suits
looked you
and
up.
shit. And I'm like, that's funny. You guys, I was like, did you watch? What's
That was
episode did you
that's
watch?
my question. That's my first question. Like,
Which one did you see? I'll let you know.
How much
Yeah, that's
have
what
you
it's-
seen?
All right, so I believe I found the chart.
If you,
Oh,
the chart.
shit.
look at
We
that.
take that banner down. Hold, please.
Look at that. That is
Oh.
David Chang's greatest contribution to Western culture. Right here.
No,
All right. Well, I feel good knowing that, like, I've been doing ramen right for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you, we should do a cookbook based with ramen, but like how to like make it better and better. I mean,
Oh yeah, you always gotta
turkey dinner shit to it.
step one is the top ramen, and then the first time you crack a raw egg and throw that shit in there, you've leveled
great.
up. You've leveled up, and then you start throwing in some scallions and just,
Enoki mushrooms.
just whatever what do we got in the fridge here? Let's chop this shit up and throw it in there, and then like all of a
I
sudden,
just want that
it's not just
MSG
noodles
raw.
and MSG.
Yeah, man.
That's it's a vehicle for the fucking MSG. Let's call it what it is. But if you could throw some veggies in there and make that shit like healthy,
Make yourself feel better a little bit.
healthy.
But-
yeah.
But Val, do you like? I know how you talk about when you were a kid. This goes to David Chang. You were talking about like the first time you like stayed over at a white person's house. You're like, "Where's the rice and shit?"
Right?
And he was like,
They were boiling that shit. They were washing it.
No, they didn't
fuck?
have rice. I was like, it was for breakfast, and I was like, "Where's the rice?" And everybody looked at me like I had 3 eyeballs on my forehead because I wanted rice for breakfast.
so David Chang on one of his shows. On one of it, I think it was like his first show, but that was on PBS. He was talking about when people would come, white people or whoever, Americans would come over to the house, and his mom would be cooking something with like fish sauce or oyster sauce, and they're like, "What the fuck is that smell?"
Yeah,
And they'd
if
be
you're not
all
used
like-
to the smell of fish sauce, it's like it'll throw you off. But like, I
It'll
love
get in
that
your
shit.
nose.
I love
Oh, in the kitchens when fish sauce was just getting big, we would like kind of put it on a napkin and just go behind somebody and like put it on their
When I-
face. And
when I was in
smear it on them.
when I was in fourth grade, I was friends with this Vietnamese kid named Tree, and we would go to his house and watch we'd watch these old these Vietnamese soap operas that looked like kung fu movies, but like a fight never broke out. There was always this really dramatic music and these really ornate, costumes and stuff. But like, yeah, fight. There was just never a fight, and I was like, just remember. But like
being
his
hype.
house, his mom was always cooking. And I remember the first time I walked in, fish oil. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, do you want to stay for dinner? And I was like, and the next thing I know, I was like, I couldn't even. I don't even know what the fuck we ate, but it was awesome. I was over there all the
Delicious.
time. Yeah.
Delicious. In
Yeah.
Tagalog, they call in the Philippines, they call the fish sauce patis.
Mhm.
Patis. And like we would have it, you would just have a little tiny bowl of it, like
I
on the
I put it on- I put it
table.
on everything.
Like you just
Yeah.
add it into it, like just with the rice, with everything. You just put the patis.
I need this Shin Black in my life though. I need to fucking upgrade.
You can find it at Giant. You can find it at Giant, Safeway. You know, it's
I already blew my grocery wad at Trader Joe's this week, but I might have to just make a little run down to just for.
Go check out. Well, I got to try to find where this Ace Cook Tonkatsu is.
Oh yeah, dude, the Tom Cobb, man, that shit is awesome.
Yeah,
so good.
That is my
there's a lot of good stuff. So I've mostly been like a Maruchan guy, and that's like on the way bad end. It's on the less delicious and cheap end, and it's like, well, okay.
If you're gonna be cheap, you got to be good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm cheap and good.
I'm so bummed out, man. I'm so bummed out, dude.
I gave you a fucking softball. Nobody took the softball.
I mean,
you gave me
You
that
got the
stank
boo eye. You got the boo eye in the head.
the blue eye.
Dude, I went. I was trying to comment before I got into the show, and I actually found a picture of like the main villain from V with the fucking crazy glasses.
Oh God!
And it wouldn't let me upload the picture.
Yeah, I can kind of like hit it, and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I saw that too. See, as a kid, I grew up watching V. I love that show. I was on for like 2 seasons.
Yo, if you gave Marcus a Thriller jacket right now, game over,
dude.
Oh my God!
I had the Beat It jacket with the zippers.
Yes, Beat It.
So I was explaining the phenomenon.
I got it at the merry-go-round in the mall.
I was explaining to my kids the phenomenon of the Beat It and Thriller jacket, and I was like trying to explain to them that like every other kid that I knew had either the Beat It jacket or the Thriller jacket, or they had a knockoff version of the Beat It jacket or the Thriller jacket. Like, remember when they tried to come with the reverse Thriller jacket? It was black. It was black with the red fucking stripes and shit. And people were like,
yeah.
Dude, people got clowned in my school. Like, you couldn't come over here with that fake ass, leather ass.
I thought very seriously, because on the Beat It jacket, they had the red and the black available, and also yellow. And
what?
I thought
yellow. If you showed up at my school with a yellow Beat It jacket, or
I thought very seriously about the yellow, and I was like, "No, man, I'm not gonna."
My son asked me.
I'm gonna go with what Michael's rocking.
He was talking about the Beat It jacket. My son asked me like about the zippers, and I just really had
nothing. There was
nothing. We don't. You know what we don't do in this house?
In a pocket, like
you know what we don't do in this house?
No pocket. It was zippers.
I was like, you know what we don't do in this house? We don't question the zippers on the Beat It jacket. We just let them shit fucking ride. Okay.
My best friend in high school, Marita, she had the Beat It jacket. I was always so jealous.
I couldn't, man. I couldn't afford a fucking Beat It jacket. I couldn't afford a Thriller jacket.
Had like a glove.
I had a pleather.
Everybody had a glove.
I had a pleather members only jacket, and I had to like I had to get rid of it. I had to get rid of it because one time I got caught in the rain and it smelled like fish, and the fish never went away. The fish smell never went away. The weirdest fucking shit ever. Oh my God!
There it is,
dude.
That's the Thriller jacket. That's not the one that I had.
Thriller jacket.
I know I'm getting there. God damn it, all y'all.
All right.
Marcus playing with his new toys. He's like,
it's live time.
I can Bing image now. That's the reverse Thriller.
That's the reverse.
That's the reverse Thriller. That would get you laughed off the school bus. Like,
yep.
Dude,
I'm so glad I did not go with the yellow Beat It
You shouldn't
jacket.
have did that. If you showed up with a yellow Thriller jacket, we wouldn't even let you on the bus.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even let you on the bus. Nah, son. No.
They'd be like, go back home.
I saved up from babysitting jobs. I saved up for the Beat It jacket, and I got it at the merry-go-round at the mall.
The merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round. Yep.
There was this post today that I saw. Someone was like, age yourself with a store. And she was like, I'm going to start first. Hex and like whatever.
There it is.
Yes.
I don't know why, but in my head, it had like twice as many zippers.
Right.
I mean, I feel like there's
It's
some on
been
the
a
back.
minute since I've seen one, but like we got to talking about. Yeah, I'm like, I thought there was. Yeah,
I felt like they were down at the bottom too, like a bunch of them on this.
Bring that back. Bring that back again. I thought there was
Which
like
one?
The Beat It one.
Beat it. Yeah, man.
I
wish I could
feel like
tell
there were
straight.
so many more.
I thought like on like your stomach area there was way more.
Same.
I wish I could tell us straight and like draw circles on your pictures, but
Like some Madden, like some John Madden.
yeah, because the thing I would point out about the Beat It jacket, the little chain section here, plastic, like it's totally cheap. I actually
those jackets in
it started
general were
ripping.
cheap.
Mine started like peeling, like ripping off. It was so cheap. It was not real chains.
Get out of
Like I
here!
said-
It was
and like I
cheap
said,
in
the
the
zippers-
80s.
Not real
The zippers,
chains.
there was no pocket. It was just a zipper.
Just a zipper. No pockets. No pockets.
Just a
No
zip,
pocket.
bitch.
No pocket. It was the dumbest. It was the dumbest thing.
I want to say that my friend Marita's hers didn't even actually. They were just there, like as decoration. You couldn't unzip it. It just was there.
Yeah, yeah. So here I am, some white suburban kid from Ohio, rolling up in a Beat It jacket at a Catholic school.
They let you in?
Yeah.
I think no, seriously though, Michael Jackson. I think MJ was the only time where because like leather jackets were always viewed as like rebellious. Ooh, he's wearing a leather jacket. He's rebellious. I think like that was the only time a leather jacket like wasn't considered like intimidating.
Well, wait a second. There was no leather to be found on this product.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Yeah, dude. Like I said, I always flash back to that members only jacket. Like once that thing got wet, I was like, why does it smell like fish? It's so fucking weird.
Because it's made from rat carcass.
Oh fuck. That they found down at the wharf.
Rat leather.
So okay, so speaking of smells,
that's what I was hoping.
I think this is our last topic for the evening. We're going out on a high note. Emphasis on high. For the person who has everything,
absolutely everything,
you could if you're doing your holiday shopping, because apparently it's the season now, according to all the terrible music that I hear whenever I go into a public place.
Or if you want to go to crushingdc.com and buy all your Christmas gifts.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That's my job.
You can now acquire a KFC that is as in formerly, I don't know, they can't call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore, right? That's why it's KFC. But
Yeah,
you can get a KFC scented log. And while that is a story, I feel like there's a story within the story because, you know, why stop there? Like, I really feel like they miss the mark. I mean, well, actually, first of all, Popeyes needs to be getting in on their own version because I'd much rather smell the inside of a Popeyes than a KFC.
I don't mind KFC.
I mean,
all I know is
I don't mind
KFC.
That's a viewpoint.
I mean, all I know is my dog would lose her shit. That's all.
So, and I mean, like, this kind of reminds me of like when Erykah Badu put out a pussy scented candle, and I'm like, my first question was, well, whose pussy? I'm like,
it was hers.
From our show, The Left Door, we talk about these candle smells on our YouTube channel.
We did.
We sure
I
did.
just finished editing that video.
We had that video. So go to YouTube and check out that video. Candle smells.
If you'd like to check out older episodes,
Candles are us.
The greatest
That's the
hits.
segment.
We have them into nice, digestible, bite-sized pieces.
You guys have to do like a very special episode where it's like there's some kind of story, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, you remember when we did? And they're like,
like Wayne's World.
So, like, right now, we've been a good time.
Yeah.
Now would have been a great time to flashback. Man, Ian, do you understand the level of organization that would be required for us to be able to do that? We were talking
like we
the
can
other
do
day.
it. I feel like we can do it.
Oh, we can.
We can do it.
Every year we upgrade. Every show.
I believe in you.
You know, I'd like to think we get a little bit better at not fucking up.
I mean,
maybe it can be an end of the year episode.
Perfect as
we should definitely consider like we that's one of the things I wanted to mention.
Best of 2020.
We had talked about doing great, or not even just best of 2020, like
just best of
Boo's greatest hits, Marcus's greatest hits, Val's
I agree.
greatest. You know what I mean? Like on down the line, like we
This
just
is
have
why
like
we need you people. We need more engineers and producers.
Yeah.
Join our squad.
yes,
join the
please.
team.
So, Ian, talking about upgrade, Ian, you see how we're doing this? We're going to do this with Grande Loc.
Beautiful.
We're going to do this.
Is it Grande Loc or Grande Loc?
I go with Grande Loc.
It's Loc. I keep saying Loc. That's my fault. That was all.
You're thinking Tone Loc.
Thinking Tone Loc.
Yeah, that's true.
Medina.
Probably also because it's a grand. What?
It's grandiloquent. The
Grandiloquent.
Show.
I just like how the first episode, or the pilot episode, Ian couldn't say Grande. And Val was like, can you ask him why a Latino can't speak Grande?
I was like, why is he saying grand?
I wasn't sure exactly how we were going to do it.
Grande.
With, whatever.
All right, so logs, things that you would rather have than a KFC scent. If you could have a scented log, what would it smell?
Wrong answers. Only.
Wrong. I mean, I feel like wrong answers only is like a default setting for us, but
yeah,
that's wrong answers. So
we should just get Eric Badu's vagina out of the way.
If you're watching, no, I believe it's called Ian. I believe it's called pussy. Like she don't fucking play.
It's Badu pussy. It's Badu pussy.
She don't play. She call it what it's supposed to be called.
She didn't. She called it Badu pussy, and I don't think it was a candle. It was incense.
No, it's a candle, and apparently she can't keep them shits in stock.
No, it's
still selling out.
They are still selling out. You like
that's
it's hard.
Amazing.
Them shits
Because that
back
pussy
order.
did lock down a couple like famous rappers. So
She changed some lives.
yeah, she did.
She changed some lives.
Speaking of David Chang,
who did the testing to ensure that the smell was accurate?
Sadly,
Andre 3000.
He was on the panel.
He was definitely on the panel.
Him and Common. It was him and Common, and they had to have like one other person. Because you need a tiebreaker.
You think they brought Common in and were like,
it was Gwyneth Paltrow. She did the third party.
So Gwyneth Paltrow made the candle. She smells like my pussy is Gwyneth Paltrow's one. Erykah Badu made incense that was called.
So incense is burning her pussy up. That's weird.
Yeah.
So to the log of fire here. Speaking of David Chang and ramen noodles, I'm going to go with fish sauce.
Ooh, a fish sauce scented log.
I don't think I would like that.
All right, you know what? I'm going for like the super obvious one. I want to. Well, oh wait, it's wrong answers. My right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give two. My right answer is I want a bacon scented log.
That's a good one. That's a good right answer.
One of my wrong answers was burnt bacon.
No.
Burnt bacon.
That was one of my wrong answers.
I have a wrong answer for you, Boo. A1.
A1. Oh, yeah.
You were mad about the A1 candle.
Yeah. A1 is offensive. Worcestershire
I love
sauce,
it. I love A1. I will
Worcestershire
drink
sauce,
that shit.
A1. Boom.
I will drink that shit. I love it.
So let me give the one I would really want before you do it, or I'll give you two. Freshly baked bread or apple pie.
Ooh, yes.
Whoa, a freshly baked bread log.
There's nothing better than freshly baked bread. When you're in the kitchen, you have a baker.
No chitlins, Michael Hairsign. Shut your mouth.
I was going to say, if you're watching along, please leave your suggestion in the comments. Without a doubt. A chitlin scented candle. Only selling in the South, y'all. Only selling in the South. And you're liable to piss the people off. Because some motherfuckers walk in the house and be like, yo, we having chitlins? And you're like, no, it's just this log.
No, it's just a log.
I'm going with a sofrito scented candle.
Ooh.
I'll fuck with that.
Sofrito.
What's
So
your
like
wrong one?
whenever you walk
What's your wrong answer,
into
though?
a Cuban home, whenever you walk into a Cuban or Puerto Rican home and they're cooking dinner, inevitably sofrito is going to be the base of that dish, and that's the first thing that's going to hit you is those onions, the garlic, the peppers. Bam.
That grande sofrito.
Yes.
My right answer was bacon. My wrong answer is Royal Palace.
Oh no, that
I
was a
almost made
bad
Mark
smell.
spit out of shit, dude. That's
So we're doing that.
What the fuck is up with that candle? What the fuck is that smell? You look at the
That's
label.
Royal
This
Palace.
is Royal Palace on it.
That's like
So
being
there's a
like,
bar-
this is sign of the whale. This is sign of the whale.
Oh
Wall.
shit! No, wait, stop. Bar scented candles. Wrong answers only. Go. I'm going
So I'm
first.
gonna go. So there's a place over at Hoboken that was called the Frog Pond. They changed the carpet, and then when you went in the next day, you're like, wait, this is
Where's the
normal
smell?
smell. Where's the smell?
Dude.
So that would be my. I'm gonna go with the Frog
Wrong
Pond.
scented log would
I'm
be
going-
the pub. The pub at Georgetown when I was in school, we had a pub on campus. There was what was called fondly or not fondly scum, which was probably like an inch
What was it called?
of shit.
Pub scum. Pub scum.
Pub scum. It was like beer and piss and vomit that was on the floor, and it smelled. There was a distinct smell.
They call that vomit.
Oh my god, it was so bad. There was one time I was cute too. Like I was like dressed all nice and shit, and I was like walked in like after it was after hour, you know, like you go after the bars closed, you go to the pub.
We never hung out at bars after they were closed. That's illegal.
And no, this was on campus. On
Shut up
campus
now.
after all the bars
Especially
closed.
not on campus.
Exactly. No, I did. We did. So I went in there and we were dancing. I had these boots on, this cute skirt, whatever, blah, blah. I fell in the pub. I slipped and fell. I had shits in my hair, on my back. I went home. I started crying. I was like, no.
Is that why you don't like your purse on the ground anywhere?
Absolutely no. You don't put your fucking purse on the ground. Come on. You don't ever put your fucking purse on the ground. It's disgusting. Do you know when we were in New Orleans, Marcus, I asked him to hold my purse and I went to the bathroom. I came back and my fucking purse was on the floor next to the bathroom. I almost beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
Fucking purse on the ground.
Wow.
You know,
Keep in mind, I was on mushrooms.
oh my god! I was like, "What? We're gonna have to go now."
Oh my God. I was gonna say combination of Tom Tom Club
Ian, put that goddamn guitar down, Ian.
and Dan's Cafe.
Put it down.
Because
Dance Cafe is rough.
they both smell like a bar crawled up inside of them and died.
Yes.
Like I'm
Rumored
just like,
bathroom. That's
Oh,
a
Ruben's bathroom was fucking garbage.
I couldn't even
shit.
walk into the boys' bathroom. The men's bathroom.
I
couldn't even walk
hated that
into it.
fucking
Oh,
bathroom.
wait,
dude.
no. Some of y'all might not know this, but if you're watching and you know this, old 930. On 930 on
Sorry,
F
I just
Street.
I just
That
threw up a little
fucking
bit.
smell. That first of all, that was the smell of awesome because if you were in there smelling that, you were about to fucking see. Thank you, Michael. Like you knew you were about to see a dope ass show in a really tiny space, and like you would leave 9:30, and like for days, like I had when I had locks back then, like my hair would smell like that club for
Mm-mm.
days. Like even if I washed my hair, like you just never got that fucking smell out. My laundry would it would stick up my whole fucking room, and like yeah, I want
Get
to
it out. You'd have to watch your clothes. Like you have to watch them. Like at least.
I want a
30
fire log. That's my final answer. I want a fire log that smells like the old 930 Club.
Ian, how about yourself?
Are we doing wrong answers only?
Yeah, wrong answer.
You can do both. Give us one of
So-
Yeah,
them.
you give us give us one. Yeah.
My wrong answer would be Red Lobster, 1994. I used to work there and come home
Nightmares.
smelling smelling like just a combination of like fish and lobster guts.
Did they have
and-
Cheddar Bay biscuits back then?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I bet
I lived on the Cheddar Bay biscuits, their gumbo. I loved their gumbo.
Well, dude, the biscuits and the gumbo.
And
Game
then
on.
I would go behind the bar and they had the pina colada machine. I would just pour myself like one of those like fucking pint glasses of just straight up pina colada.
Coconut pineapple Slurpee.
The managers would see me then. I'd be like, "What? There's no liquor in here." And they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "No, I'm not sure."
I'm not sure.
Oh my
That was
Amazing.
good. That was good.
I'm a food service alum. I put in my time. Listen, if you worked at a Red Lobster on a Friday night and survived, like you can survive anything.
God. I can't even. I never worked anywhere corporate. Like I worked. Well, I guess like let me rephrase that. I never worked in any chain restaurants.
Yeah, the most corporate that I ever worked in, like the most chainish was a City Tap House. But it wasn't.
City Tap House. Where was that?
So there was one in DuPont. There was one in Penn Quarter, and then they have locations like up in the East Coast. Like I forget, like Pittsburgh maybe, and then maybe another in Pennsylvania, somewhere else in Pennsylvania. I can't remember. But the two here in DC were Penn Quarter and DuPont. So that was like the most corporate that I've ever worked because they have locations in other areas that were not the DMV. And like I don't know, it was not super corporate, but then there were some corporate things that I was like, I don't understand. I've come from places like the Third Edition and like
Third Edition. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's another one of the wrong answers of the.
Oh, you want a fire log that smells like Third Edition or room?
Third Edition upstairs bathroom. Oh my
God. Oh, brutal.
I had a friend who I worked with, my friend Junior, who was crazy when he was working there. He used to do some crazy ass shit. He would do like he would take not the bar mats from the bar and do shot. He would pick up the bar mats from the floor, pour it into a glass and drink it.
Oh.
One time he took because the bathroom, the ladies' bathroom was across the way from the bar upstairs. He ran out with a plunger, plunged in the toilet, took the plunger, poured some drink into it, and drank out of it. I was like, "You're gonna die tomorrow."
What is wrong with this? You know, this is the guy who didn't get COVID.
Yeah,
he did not get COVID. I'm sure.
COVID-free. I'm sure he's COVID's like, nah, son, you're good.
You can't do anything worse.
COVID's like, keep it moving, bro. Keep it moving.
We don't want.
I gotta keep it moving. I got a Trump to infect. Get the fuck out of here! Like, fuck out of here.
He would do the craziest shit, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Now he's stone cold sober. He's like dead sober. He doesn't drink.
Yeah, you've been to the.
There's a fucking reason why.
You've been to the end of the fucking universe for alcoholism. Like,
he drank New Jersey in a cup.
Yeah, fuck.
It was so bad. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he would just do it all the time.
He's like, "I like to pull fish out of the Potomac River, suck the juice out of them, and throw them back."
One of the milder things he would do is do warm gin and ranch dressing shots. Ranch and warm gin. He'd mix it and do a shot of it. I'm like, why?
Who is this guy and why? He melted down the Gwyneth Paltrow pussy candle and drank it.
He probably did. He might have. Or he would have. He would have back then. He does not now. Now he doesn't do any of that shit.
So we're at the 2 hour and some change mark. I feel like we have talked about everything on the menu, today's menu, and then some.
And then a little more.
I think final thoughts are at hand.
I'm gonna scrub my ears thoroughly after this.
Your eyes and your ears and your heart.
And Junior, I hope you found Jesus because this sounded like you really needed him. Jesus Christ, I hope you're watching. Yeah. Who's gonna go first with their final thoughts? Ian's our guest. Let him.
Okay.
Go.
All right. I'm gonna give you a final thought right here.
Grande.
Today would have been the 100th birthday of Dave Brubeck. Today, December 6th, 2020, born December 6th, 1920. A genius, a master in jazz, had a great band. Those guys really swung. And go listen to Take 5. What I was playing earlier was a little bit of Giant Steps, so it's not Brubeck, but you know.
Now explain to people a little bit more of who he is.
No, well, I want you.
Jazz pianist from the from LA, from the kind of the LA cool jazz scene.
What was the name of his band? What was his band's name?
It's just the Dave Brubeck band. Dave Brubeck Quartet. Paul Desmond, tremendous tenor saxophone player, was his tenor sax man. I cannot recall the name of his rhythm section, but they were
all right. I don't think it
and Dave Brubeck. So Take 5, I believe, at one point, if it is not right now, was the all-time top-selling jazz single from 1959 from the album Time Out, which is a classic. When we finally drop Marcus that 1959 jazz docuseries, we're definitely going to be digging. We're definitely going to be digging out.
Hey, Ian. Speaking of jazz, have you seen the Jocko documentary?
No, I haven't. I
watched it.
What's it on?
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, Jocko Pastorius is a jazz bassist. Weather Report, played with like Herbie Hancock and like a bunch of people. Yeah. But yeah, like
genius.
Really, really good stuff.
Genius.
Man. Yeah.
So
genius and tragic.
Yeah.
Genius and tragic at the same time.
So if you like the way Ian broke down the jazz, imagine what it does to the hip hop.
Yeah, Ian, plug your show one more time.
Grande Locke, the Grandiloquent Hip Hop Show. Myself, Artemis, Prowess, the Testament, aka government name Tia Abner. I like to think smart and good takes on hip hop. You know, for old heads, we're coming for you.
Like all of us in a room. So,
and new heads embrace this opportunity to learn about the history and you know, we'll compare and contrast. You know,
like, you know, and I hope people will come out of our show. One, having some new good music to listen to, and two, being like, oh damn, I haven't heard that Nonce album in 20 years, man. Let me drop that. Let me drop the needle on that shit.
Right.
I mean, that's how me and Boo are. We're like, yeah, fuck, that's awesome.
Val,
I mean, for me, yeah, go ahead, Val.
Sorry.
What?
I have nothing. Your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, Val?
My final thoughts are, I mean, I don't mean to end this on a down note, but my uncle passed away this week on Wednesday. He had caught COVID. So he lived a good life. He has 4 children. We celebrated his life today. We had they organized a very nice, very poignant ceremony, a mass for him. My family is very Catholic, so they did a virtual mass for him. I sadly had to work, so I was like listening to the ceremony while I was bartending. Thankfully, my boss is very kind and understanding. She said that it was fine, that I could, you know, even though it was during my shift, I was able to be present with my cousins and my family and my aunt. And I just wanted to, you know, give a shout out to my Tito Tony. He was a good man, you know.
Shout out to Tito Tony.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm on empty. I gotta grab a drink. I can't toast with empty glass.
Can't
I thought you just toast in spirit.
Anyway, so my uncle.
No, Boo's got to do it right. Sorry about it.
You know, while we're waiting for Boo. You know, earlier we were talking about my Thanksgivings with my cousins who always would come, and you know, our food was always the same. My uncle one year, he was like upset. So we had the sucking pig, and he got sick the next day, And so from then on, I was convinced it was because of the lechon. And he was like, no more lechon. So we didn't have lechon and like every holiday.
Well, in that picture, he looks like a pimp a little bit.
Dude,
He was a
He
fucking
looked
pimp.
like
Yo,
yeah, he looks pimping to Tio
he
Tony.
was
Yeah, look at that hair, dude.
Right?
he looked cool as fuck in that picture.
So he was a professor at my aunt's college, and he was like older than her.
Fuck the students. Look at that shit.
He did one of them, and they got married to her.
He didn't do just one. He did multiple. That's
Hey,
never just do one.
Look, you stop blowing up Tio Tony's spot. he in the afterlife. He can't defend himself. You leave Tio Tony alone.
He was like,
I'll see him in my dreams tonight. It'll be
you
fine.
will. You'll probably see him in your dreams.
May his memory be a blessing. May his memory be a blessing.
Thank you, Ian.
Marcus, your final thoughts?
Man, I ain't got none. Let's just have a good time and be good to everybody else in this world. Fucking don't be a cunt.
I like that. So yeah, we thank you all for tuning in. And again, please like us, share us. You can we have bite-sized clips for easy digestion on our YouTube channel. Please go check them out if you want to see past episodes. We will have some bite-sized. We'll slice and dice this episode up too. But we really appreciate you guys checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, iTunes, TuneIn Radio. For those of you watching us on Twitch, this is our first Twitch episode. Really, really appreciate y'all being here. Please comment. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you hate. We'll probably ignore it, but we love you anyways. No, I'm just kidding. Lastly, for me, final thoughts. If you guys know us, you know that Marcus and Val and I are partners in Crushing DC LLC. And if you love us and want to support us, please go to crushingdc.com and do some shopping in our store. Get your holiday shopping in. If you are in the DC area, this coming Saturday on the 12th, we will be at 3 Stars Brewery in Northeast DC from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., possibly later, especially if you guys are hanging out. And we'll be there selling some of our wares, and we'd love to talk to you. We'll have items available that you can't get on the site. That's a big thing.
That's like this right here. Oh.
We're working on getting
right?
we're working on getting some of these things on the site, but like in the meantime, between time, if you see something you like, message us and we'll see about getting it to you.
And come and see some other local vendors,
like the ones that sold me these dope ass glasses.
Exactly. And some of the food vendors too. We've had some the dumpling lady was there this past time.
We should have wrote all these things down and told y'all, but
we good.
Support local businesses.
Yeah, but support local businesses.
Support local businesses,
fight capitalism, but support local businesses. As I walk the razor's edge.
Viva la revolution!
Viva la revolution! And oh shit, you know what? We never did the Million Plate March story.
Yeah, so that's happening tomorrow. Hopefully, we can get some people to come out to in front of Congress tomorrow at 2:30. There's a
political action.
Yeah.
Should we go? Should we go?
I'll be with my kids. If you guys want to go represent in my stead, I totally endorse that.
I like the protest.
They're asking that we bring, that you come, if you can, bring plates, not paper plates, actual plates with
actual plates. Nothing for China though.
People who have been affected, who have lost their jobs, who are losing their jobs, who are now underemployed, restaurants and bars that have lost their businesses. We want to implore Congress to pass the bill, the restaurant care bill. This is being spearheaded by Derek. What's his name? Derek Brown.
Derek Brown.
and some other and some the Independent Restaurant Coalition, DC Bar and Restaurant Workers Alliance is also collaborating, and there are a bunch of other allies who are coming together to promote this event. The restaurant industry has really been, the hospitality and restaurant bar industry has been really hit hard, and Congress really hasn't done anything to really support this industry. I mean,
They wrote
like 60% of the restaurants have already closed since COVID. And we need to preserve what's left of this industry because it's going to be gone.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean it's yeah. To piggyback on what Val said, I'm gonna, and then we'll bounce. The restaurant industry, the industry that I was working in recently, the stagehand industry, has also been basically devastated by all of this. We all have to pull each other up. It does not look like our government is going to give us the hand that we need. Right now, it looks like a $1,200 check for some people. I didn't get a stimulus check. So
I mean, I think that there's something in play that there's going to be $300 for unemployment,
for like
unemployment in general, but our industry in particular, the restaurant, bar, restaurant, and hospitality industry has been hardest hit, and there's no recognition of that. I mean, I think that they need to really implement something to really support and assist the restaurant industry, because I mean they've given to the cruise lines, to airline industry, to the whatever, I mean, but our industry,
which is funny because the airline industry is like one of the, like, airports is a really good place to spread COVID.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason why. I'm going to tell you why they do this, and this is based off knowing stocks. There's like 10 companies for here, and there's like 15 for the airlines. So restaurants, there's thousands upon thousands of restaurants, and they just, they don't give a shit. In their heads, they don't need them. Airlines, you need the airlines. Like, and so that's
no, we don't. We don't need them.
No. In their thought process, you need these 10 as opposed to these 3,000, because there's going to be another one that opens up next week.
Right.
That's their thought process. That's their fucking thought process.
All right. So yeah, if you can show up on the steps of Congress tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., bring some plates. Bring some plates. Yo, you guys bring some cameras. Document. Talk to some people.
That's what I ain't bringing plates. I'm bringing cameras.
Let's get some. Yeah, let's get some bodies in there. If I may be so bold, for Ian, for Marcus, and for Val. This is Crush and Boo. This is the District of Misfits show. We appreciate the fuck out of y'all watching us. Be good to each other. Fuck 45. Stay safe. Wash your fucking hands and wear a fucking mask.
Wash that ass.
Wash your hands, please.
And there you have it.